Hello and welcome back to the Hummingbird Podcast. I'm Dan Durant and I'm here today with Big Soph. What up, Big Soph?
What's going on, man?
What's going on? I woke up today feeling nervous for this because
Why?
because this is the first time doing it on Zoom, so I'm just like, you don't understand. I had to finesse the fuck out of this setup to just get it to work out properly.
Right.
And I had to run some tests and like all this shit because I didn't want to do like the regular like just like press record on Zoom and it does like the back and forth and the video looks like shit and all
it's
that.
annoying.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure like the audio was routed properly and that I got separate video feeds for both of us. So it was just like more technical than I meant for it to be, but I did get it to work as far as I know. So if people are seeing this, then that means that I did it.
Let's go. Do you know about Riverside?
No, what is that?
Riverside's basically like a platform that specializes in remote podcasts.
That would have been awesome.
So like all the shit that you probably did by yourself this morning, I think Riverside probably does. But I think it's like $30 or something.
Okay. Yeah, that would have been way better to know about, I think. But any other ones after this? Riverside, if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, please hit us up. But we will use your service because, the finessing that had to go on was crazy.
I believe it. Zoom's a pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah.
No shade to Zoom, but kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. Zoom is weird because Zoom just popped up out of nowhere because it was always Skype. Or did you ever use Uvu?
No, I know about Uvu though. I use Skype. I broke up with someone over Skype one time.
Damn, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it long distance? Is that why you had to do it on Skype?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we met in real life and stuff. This is like a long time ago, but obviously because of Skype. But yeah, that's my last use of Skype.
Damn, you broke up with them and then you broke up with Skype. You're like, all right, don't need this shit no more.
Yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's crazy. Just to have the little sound that Skype makes at the end, and then they're just sitting there in the darkness.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry if you're watching this.
Yeah. I don't mean not to get too much into your personal life. Have you been the breaker upper or have you been a breakup-y?
I am usually the breaker upper.
You seem like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm the breaker upper. I mean, it's usually like really mature and cordial though. It's not like I just freak out. Or when I was younger, I would make them break up with me.
Wow.
I don't remember. It was either like, because there was a couple instances where I'm like, did I break up with them or did I just continuously say things that made them break up with me?
Yeah, that's like self-sabotage, but for your own benefit.
But like intentionally because I didn't want to break up with them.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seem like somebody who just gets shit done. You just seem like somebody that you're like, I see the issue here and I know the solution and we're just going to go straight to it. Okay, buddy? Like, let's not beat around the bush on this.
Yeah, I try. That's kind of just what I do and work a lot, so it does carry over to my personal life for sure.
Yeah. So, okay, so how would you describe yourself like what would you say that you do exactly?
Well, I am a consultant that specializes in the music industry in varying different capacities. So, the easiest way to say it is I specialize in infrastructure within the music industry. So that may look different for artists, managers, or labels. So for example, with artists, I would help them put together strategy, put together the tools they need to execute that strategy. For managers, it could be operational strategy. And then for like the stuff I do in the catalog space, it would be like data cleansing strategy.
Yeah. Okay. So would you consider yourself a marketing expert or would you say that you're more like I mean, you said strategy, so
Hmm.
you're basically helping people find a way to their goals, their career goals.
Correct. And then my background is in marketing. So I've ran millions of dollars in ad spend. I have had
Mm.
billions of impressions amassed across my campaigns. And marketing's kind of just something that comes naturally to me. So a lot of people do get me for marketing strategy for sure.
Okay. How did you start in that industry?
I just started. I was learning marketing. So I started as a music artist. I was releasing music for a while. I've probably cut 300 songs in the studio. I was releasing music. I got a single deal. Uh, the imprint wasn't paying out, so then I started learning the back end about music, like metadata, stuff like that. And I have always kind of been entrepreneurial, even as a kid. So, like, trying to pull money out of thin air is something that I really enjoy. And marketing helps you do that. So, I was learning marketing just through YouTube videos. And then I was helping market just like businesses. And then I started applying those concepts to my own music and content, and then it was working. So then my friends would ask for help, and I kept getting more and more referrals to the point where then I opened an agency. So I think you just start if you feel pulled to do something, you know.
Yeah. So were you just hitting businesses up and being like, "Hey, like I see like an avenue for you," or how did you
Mm.
start working with them?
I would say just have a natural inclination to do it. So even places where I was employed, I
Mm.
would wind up coming up with marketing strategy for them. Um, And then, yeah, I would hit up businesses, or I would create a profile on like Fiverr or Upwork. So that way I would have inbound flow as well. But yeah, I would definitely just hit up businesses. One of the first niches I worked in was food trucks, because I can just, my brain kind of naturally identifies gaps. So when I go to a business, I'm not like, hey, do you need this? I'm like, hey, you need this. And usually
Yeah.
because they didn't even see it themselves, it was easier to sell it to them.
Yeah. So, okay, so you said that that's a part of your personality. Do you feel like you were like a very convincing kid? Do you feel like you were like always trying to like advocate for yourself or like, get what you want out of like your parents or something?
My parents didn't let me do shit, and then I just did what I wanted and got yelled at later. So
Okay.
I don't know if I was persistent for sure. Like I was
Yeah.
always the kid asking my mom why if she said no. So if she's like, no, I'm like, why? And then she'll
Yeah.
be like, because I said so. And I'd be like, well, that's not really a reason.
Yeah. So, okay, do you feel like that strategy you think that that same strategy carries into the way that you handle your marketing now? Like I know a dude who
Hmm.
he climbed the Hollywood sign recently. He like climbed
Oh,
the
cool.
O. Yeah. And apparently that's just a misdemeanor. Like apparently,
Yeah.
it's not that big of a deal and it was a slap on the wrist, but it generates all this buzz
Right.
and if he would have tried to ask for permission or whatever, it would have never happened.
Right.
Do you feel like
Yeah.
that's important?
Yeah. I think everyone's internal compass, they should listen to it. Like, if I listened to everybody else, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. Because half of the shit I've done, people are like, why are you doing that? That's so stupid. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't give a shit, because I feel like I know what's best for me more than other people. And I think that's kind of like been fostered through just continuously putting myself in unknown situations and figuring it out.
Yeah. Um so what are some marketing campaigns that you've been a part of or that you've spearheaded that you're pretty proud of?
I have a lot of NDAs,
Okay, that makes sense.
so I can talk about some of them. So I was at this one agency. We did a lot of stuff. There we did 2C. We did what's her name? Ice Spice, Drake, Lil Baby, Gunna, stuff like that. Those were cool. We were digital sales campaigns, so we're focusing primarily on albums, and selling the albums. And then last year, I worked on three of the songs on Leon Thomas's album, which was cool.
Sick.
Yeah. So I'll stick with those ones.
Okay. So
Yeah.
so when you're put onto a project like that, sorry, my cat's playing with my inhaler. I need that to breathe, bro. So, all right, when you're on a project like that, what is your mindset? What is being asked of you to do?
Well, it depends on who's hiring me. If a label hires me, they wind up hiring, especially for big artists, they hire a bunch of agencies. So it would essentially be whatever I pitched to them. So, for example, a lot last year was trending audio campaigns and clipping campaigns together. So then I'll just execute those, provide the reporting. If I'm working with a manager, usually I come in also in a consulting capacity and help them figure out the strategy. So they'll be like, hey, we have XYZ going on. I don't really know what we should do on the digital side. And then I'm like, oh, let's do XYZ. And then I'll execute that. And that could be a combination of like ads, trending audio, clipping, influencer seeding, all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
Billboards. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna ask you a question that I think is interesting, and I think you're probably gonna have a pretty good answer for this. Okay, so if you were trying to make something blow up,
Yeah.
and I gave you a budget of $1, $100, $10,000, and let's say $500,000,
Mm-hmm.
how would you spend your money?
It's a hard question because it's going to depend on what the artist got going on. Anybody that answers this question like in one way isn't answering the question very well
Okay.
because you should always build a strategy around whatever in real life things are going on. So if the artist is
Yeah.
on tour, you'll allocate some to regionally specific like ticket sales. But anyway, I'll still answer your question.
Okay.
$1, go get a mango from the street cart and eat it and just enjoy your music and
Okay.
make content about it.
Okay.
Um, what was it? $1,000?
Sure. Let's hop up to 1,000.
Okay, $1,000. I would spend however much you need to spend. Let's say $200 with editors, just making a shit ton of content as much as you can. Um, Ideally, getting to 3 posts a day on
Okay.
Instagram or short form. That's when the needle starts to move in a way that everyone thinks it should move when they're posting twice a week. When you hit 3 posts a day consistently for weeks, that's when you start seeing the needle move. So I would spend 200 just getting edits done, and then the other 800 I could spend on whatever the best performing content was for ads. and
Okay.
and depending, again, are you in a release cycle, are you not, that's going to depend on like what action we want people to take. So for the purpose of this example, I would just say just run ads to your socials and just keep growing the socials.
Okay.
Mhm.
So when you're running ads, it's literally just expanding your reach, and you just throw some money at well performing content to get it to more people because you already know that people like this thing.
Yeah, and then you can put a conversion goal on it, meaning like, do you want them to go listen? Do you want them to go join your email list? Do you want them to go to your YouTube? Like, you can choose what you want them to do, depending on, again, like where you're at and what you're doing. So if you have a show, push them to a show ticket. If you just launched a YouTube series, you could push them to YouTube,
Yeah.
so on and so forth.
Yeah. I'm going to take a 30-second break because
Yeah,
these
do you?
cats are losing their minds. All right, we're back.
All right. $10,000. That's when you get into like actual rollouts, and you can service a release, pre-release, during release, and post-release. So for the purpose of the example, let's say you got 10K, you're in a release cycle, you want to get streams. Again, I would be pumping out a shit ton of content. Maybe put like 2,500 on ads, 5K on clipping, and then save another 2,500 to see what's working and double down on that. And then 100,000, 500,000, same concept, but just bigger scale.
Scale it up.
So like when you have 100 to 500,000, that's when you can start really pulling in radio and PR and focus on experiential marketing. Use some of that budget to travel to things that make sense for the artists, release parties, things like that.
When you say experiential, do you mean like live shows, things like that?
Yeah, they could do like an event, or for example, try to partner with another either brand or artist to get onto whatever they're doing for more exposure. Like
Yeah.
some places don't charge for that, but like from a budgeting standpoint, I'm thinking about how much it costs to get there, the hotels you got to stay at, the food, all that. Yeah.
Okay, so the position that most artists are in right now is that they've got little to no budget. So
Right.
for those artists, what would you suggest that they do with their time, or like what should be the strategy going in?
Yeah, I think the first thing that artists need to do is set goals and then stick to them. The biggest thing that I see artists do of multiple career stages is like continuously changing the goal. And then they just never accomplish what they want because the goal keeps changing based on how they feel. And that's not really conducive to success. And a lot of successful artists, they don't feel like doing a lot of the shit they got to do. They just do it. So if you have $0, you're an independent artist. Number one, focus on what your actual goal is. Set some realistic ones, like maybe 1,000 followers by the end of 90 days, and then stick with those things. Spend your time creating music, and creating content, and pump out as much content as you can. And then there's a whole content strategy that you'll have to figure out as well that works for you. But spend your time doing things that move the needle, and be consistent, because consistency, I notice artists like at the career level that have no money and they're usually trying to balance a bunch of stuff. They just completely always let their emotions take over the plan. And that's why they fail. It's not because the music industry is evil. It's not because they don't have any money. It's because they just stop being consistent.
Yeah. Do you feel like the music industry is evil?
I think capitalism is capitalism, and it certainly exists in the music industry.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, any industry, I guess.
I think, I think like to piggyback off of that, I will say that the way that the music industry operates and the way that they tell independent artists to operate conflict with each other.
Okay.
Like they'll tell artists not to do stuff that they do.
Okay. Like
So then there's
examples?
like just do all organic, and that's bullshit. Like you have to understand the independent artist market is not just people making music. There's products and services promoted to independent artists. Like think about DistroKid. DistroKid's just sold for $2 billion, and it's not because they have a bunch of high performing artists on it. It's because every single artist on there has a bunch of subscriptions they're paying. You pay $5.99 for Lyric Find. You pay $12.99 for all these other bullshit. You know, so yeah.
Who did DistroKid sell to? I didn't even know that happened.
CVC Partners. It's a private equity firm.
Okay, shit. So what do you predict is going to happen with it? Is it going to stay more or less the same, or do you think that there's going to be big shifts in?
I mean, you never know, but historically what happens when private equity takes over is that efficiency and operational efficiency is like the most important thing. So we don't know. I don't want to speculate, but DistroKid has a pretty seamless experience already. Maybe nothing changes. Maybe there are more services offered. I would have to look and see who else CBC Partners owns
Mm-hmm.
to see if those people would pop up in DistroKid, you know?
Yeah. So you seem to be pretty in the loop with all of this stuff. Do you do a lot of research throughout the day or throughout the week?
Yeah, I think my whole job is just solving problems.
Okay.
So like every day I just encounter new information one way or another. And then I will look into it. I'm like naturally curious. So I think that helps me know a bunch of shit is because I'm always like, oh, what else? What else is going on here?
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna throw something out at you of something that I'm dealing with right now, and I want your take on it.
All
Cause
right, let's do it.
okay, so all right, I have a song called UCLA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the whole concept of UCLA is like UCLA, but I see a lie, and I
Mm-hmm.
see this issue with it, and this issue, and it's mismanaged, and it's this and this and that. It's a song. And so, but I think maybe I'm coming off more combative than I feel like maybe I'm solving my own problem, but I'm coming off maybe more combative than I'm meaning to. But I
Yeah.
just posted a video that I got double the amount of comments that I did likes, but it's like hate, 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 hate. Even though I think it's a good song, a good concept. I mean, it's provocative. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
that provocative stuff is useful, or should you steer away from that if you're not trying to stir up some shit? Or is it okay to just stir up some shit sometimes just to stir up some shit? Or is that bad for your engagement?
I feel like if you feel strongly about it, then it's aligned. And if you're just
Yeah.
bullshitting if you're just rage baiting, then it's not.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I mean, if you don't evoke an opinion either way, you kind of aren't, the marketing isn't there anyway. So it's better that you're pissing people off than nobody saying anything.
Yeah. Because it is pushing it out to people, but it's just the response that I'm getting back is so not what I was expecting.
Mm-hmm.
And fuck, man, I've been called a burger musician more times than I can fucking count at this point. My shit is always buns. My shit is always ass. I should not quit my job.
Does that impact you as an artist reading that?
Sometimes it does, and I'm trying not to let it. And I understand that, especially at scale, like that's just gonna be there. I just think that what I feel like I'm lacking is enough of the other side for
Mm-hmm.
me to be like, okay, well, at least like this percentage of people is enjoying it. But I think the problem is like people don't positively engage with stuff nearly as much as they negatively engage with it online.
Right.
Like maybe they'll
Yeah.
like your thing, but the likelihood that they're gonna comment something positive that they feel is just so low, you
Right.
know? And so I just gotta
Yeah.
take
So
that
you
into
just have to
account.
know that to be
Yeah.
true and not let
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Think about like when you go to a restaurant, do you leave a review to every time you have a great experience at a restaurant, or do you leave a
No.
review only when it fucking sucks?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. It was only when it fucking sucks, really. Or
Right.
if
I'm
it's
not
so amazing that I'm like,
right.
holy shit. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. So the down the middle shit just doesn't, or it can even be good, but if it's not like so evoking of an emotion, it's not going to get that response.
Yeah, you got to you got to make people feel like they have an opinion on it one way or another because talent alone, like we have a little black rectangle
Mm-hmm.
that literally we can watch the most talented people who have ever walked earth do something on when we feel
Yeah.
like it. So like talent is no longer
Mm-hmm.
curiosity inducing.
Yeah.
And the thing that you're experiencing now is not, I'm not saying the song's not good. Obviously, I haven't heard it, so I can't say anything. But what you're encountering is people's own feelings about what your song surfaced in them. It's not even
Mm-hmm.
about your song.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
about them.
that's kind of the job of the artist is to like see what's going on and talk about it. And
Yeah.
then artists have always been rebels and pissing people off. I don't know why now everyone's like, "Oh, we got to be accepted and fit in all the time. It's like,
Yeah.
no.
I think it's
Some
because you get that so like immediate response to what you're
yeah,
doing. Uh and people can leave comments, and there's this anonymity factor that like people just are willing to say some really off color shit because
right.
it never comes back to them. You can't punch them in the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
mean, I've literally been like, this is how you add songs from Instagram to Spotify. And people in my comments are like, you're a fucking coward. And I'm like, all right, man. Like, shout out mental illness, you know?
yeah. No, for real. Anybody commenting that shit is so miserable. It's
Right.
crazy. Yeah. You're right. And so
Yeah.
I'm taking crazy people's opinions into consideration just way too much.
Right.
Um
I also think like with artists specifically, and a lot of people do this, but artists do it a lot where it's like you've conflated who you are with what you create into
mhm.
one thing. And as
Yeah.
someone who makes art and used to put out music, I totally understand that. And I had felt that way at some point too. But like until you're able to separate what you're creating from who you are, you're
Mm.
always going to feel like shit depending on like what the people got to say. But if you can say, hey, I made this piece of art is pissing people off, it doesn't mean that I fucking suck. It just means that they're mad. It's just easier to process that way.
Yeah. I
So like
think
your
mhm.
output's not your identity is basically what I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah, and I make that mistake pretty often, I think, of because it's so personal,
Right.
and it is me to a high degree. Like it's my thoughts and my feelings and
Right.
my soul that I'm pouring into this stuff, but I have to look I have to have that separation. A lot of people have that the other way to where they can't separate the art from the artist when it comes to
Right.
other
Hmm.
artists.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on it? Do you separate the art from the artist most of the time?
I don't know how to answer this correctly because sometimes yes and sometimes no. Like so for example, R. Kelly's objectively a piece of shit,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
But I still have memories tied to some of his
Yeah.
songs,
He
so
got some
they're in the
bangers. Yeah.
playlist. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then also, so in that case, yes. And then also, I have liked artists and have met them in person, and then they're fucking lame, and then I'll take them out of the playlist because I'm
Mm.
like, you're a fucking lame-o, dude.
Yeah.
Like, so yes and no, I guess is my answer.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, really, what you decide to listen to is just based on what emotions it evokes in you.
Right.
So, yeah. So,
Yeah,
if,
like R. Kelly, I don't fucking support anything he does or has done, and he's lame as fuck. But because listened to that song when I was 14 and all those memories tied to
yeah.
that song, then
Yeah.
that's a soundtrack to a part of my life, you know?
Yeah. And like you said, it's like it's more about you than it is about the
Yeah,
song
it's
or the
it's always
artist.
about the listener.
Yeah, everything's projection at the end of the day. So like, that's the
Right.
only thing that you really got is your mind mapped out onto the world, you know?
Yeah.
Does
And
that
that's
ever
why you
make
gotta
you
control your thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same. Wait, you said why you can't control your thoughts?
Know why you have to.
Oh, why you have to. Interesting. How do you think that you can control your thoughts?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think your brain's a muscle, then you have to train it. I
Okay.
think that other societies like know this, but Western world seems to be like our thoughts are us, but we're not our thoughts actually.
Yeah.
And to control your thoughts, what I mean by that is like you don't give power to your thoughts just because they exist.
Yeah.
You are you have to decide, hey, is this thought worth pursuing and giving power to or not?
Yeah.
And I used to I used to be really pessimistic. I grew up like complaining was bonding.
Mm.
So like this is just from my own experience and having changed the way that I think, you know.
Yeah. Um
You don't have to agree though. If you disagree,
No,
we can
I'm not
debate.
disagreeing. No,
We
no,
can
no. Okay, I'll
debate.
debate you. All right. All right. So this is my general thought is
Yeah,
that
let's go.
you can't control your thoughts, but that you can control what is well, okay. If you really want to get into the fucking weeds
Yeah,
of
let's
it,
get into it.
okay. I lost a year of my life thinking about whether or not free will exists or not.
Okay,
Because
does
when
it?
you really does it in my
I'm
opinion?
asking you. Yeah.
I'm still spotty on it. You know, I
Okay.
think it's
Okay.
more fun to live as if it does. And I think it gives me a sense of agency that feels nice.
Hmm.
But when I really think about it, I am set up to respond to any external stimuli in whatever way I'm currently set up based on my experiences and everything that I've ever been through. So when something happens, when somebody says something to me and that meets the state that I'm currently in, there is going to be a reaction that happens that is inevitable, in my opinion.
Okay. I'm going to challenge that and say everything you just said exists within the container of your belief system, and your belief system is crafted by you.
Well,
You can create your belief system because that's why people can believe murder's okay and then go to prison and get out and think it's not because they made a choice to change their beliefs. And I believe that the world responds to that in which you believe
or
to
did
be true.
or did the experience shape their belief and they had no choice but to feel that way because now they just believe it based on what they experienced while they were in
But
prison?
your theory requires the person to have no agency over their own thoughts and
Yeah.
belief. Where
Yeah.
mine gives people agency over thoughts and beliefs.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you why I feel this way.
All right.
There's been many of situations that I've been in where the uh external stimuli, as you call it, would have communicated to me a certain outcome was inevitable. But because I decided no, the belief was played out in the environment. Although literally everyone else looking at it would say that it was inevitably going to turn out in a certain way because of the stimulus or the stimuli.
Yeah. Well, the stimuli meeting your current position, it's like, I think of it like, okay. So, like I said, I go back and forth between how I feel about it
Yeah.
because I also believe in a spiritual reality.
Right.
And so I think maybe the spiritual reality is where that sense of agency and free will comes from. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, it took me a minute to get to that point because I was trying to work out every physical reality outcome. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you think about it, our brains are tied to the physics of the situation of the universe and reality. We can't escape that our neurons are made of atoms and that those neurons are going to interact with each other based on the chemical reactions going on. They can't do something that's not happening, if that makes sense. They can't
Mm-hmm.
they can't like if a chemical reaction is happening, it's going to happen no matter what.
Yeah,
So,
I think where our philosophies kind of diverge is that you're very 3D based in your thinking, and
mhm.
I'm kind of on the opposite of that, where I think everything in the physical reality manifests from an ethereal reality that's crafted by our thoughts and
Yeah.
beliefs. And you're kind of saying that the external reality exists as a fact, and then we must respond to that fact.
Yeah, well, that's where I was. I would
Yeah,
say now I'm actually more on your team, and I'm playing a
right,
little bit of devil's advocate with
right.
my own beliefs, just to sort of understand yours a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah, we're just chopping it up, man.
We're just
None of
chopping it up,
this.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Mhm.
I'm definitely more. I'm way closer to where you're at now because I think everything is a part of a spiritual reality. So much so that I think that every moment is significant if you allow it to be, and
Right.
that do you believe in signs? Do you believe in things like that? Like,
Yeah, for sure.
okay,
I
you?
think I have an ongoing dialogue with something bigger than me.
Me
And
too.
that's why I just do that's the only reason I am where I am or do what I do or am able to impact people the way I am.
I feel exactly the same way, and I have gotten to the point in my life where 2 months ago I was baptized, and
Nice.
yeah, it's definitely been an experience. I think since getting baptized, what I've found is that everything that I do that's positive is a bit more blessed, and everything that I do that's negative is a bit more punished.
Right.
Because now it's like I'm drawing on that power source, but when I do something that is, you know, sinful, I fall from higher.
Right. No, I
Yeah.
feel you. Yeah, I think also it's about like if you know better, then you have to do better. And if you don't do better because you know better, you're I guess you'll call them punishments are worse because
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. 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 And then ignorance is like, you can't really blame somebody for being ignorant.
Yeah, because they don't
Um,
know.
yeah,
Yeah, they literally don't know. Yeah.
exactly. So they're not, it can't even come from a malicious place if they wanted it to, because they just have no idea what they're doing.
Right.
Um, which I think that to a certain degree, all human beings are ignorant as fuck, because
For
our
sure. Yeah.
our hardware only allows us to like even have certain thoughts or feelings anyway. Sit here, try to like understand God, but it's like, how are you gonna understand God when you're not even like two people? You're only one person. You know?
Right. Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
Yeah. Um, I actually think of people almost as neurons in like the brain of God or something. Like we're
Yeah.
just like, but we're at that level of unsophistication,
Mm.
compared to whatever that force is.
Well, didn't Jesus say that anyone could become like him through practice?
He might have. I actually don't know if he. Oh, whether or not he said it, I don't know. But I do believe it. Why? Do you know if he said that, or do you
No,
say something
I don't
similar?
know. I don't know. I'm just saying like I'm pretty sure that that's a thing. So
I
it's
would.
like when you're saying like people are unrefined, like there's a process of refinement that goes on through living. And I believe there's a right way to think and a wrong way to think. But
Mm-hmm.
that comes from like mentorship from different people and, just
Yeah.
living the life I've personally lived.
Yeah. Who are some of your mentors that you're able to mention?
I mean, in work, or you mean spiritually, I would just read like a bunch of Charles Honnell, Florence Shavell Shin books, like any book about spiritual and personal development before 1933 hits pretty fucking hard.
Why 1933? The Great Depression or something?
I no, I think that's when the publishing houses started burning a bunch of books and like changing a
Oh
bunch of
shit.
verbiage.
Okay.
Okay,
Wow.
so free will. What is your do you think media is controlled or do you think everyone can say whatever they want?
Oh well, I mean, to a certain degree, I can hop on my phone right now and say whatever I want, and that's one form of media, you know.
Right.
But if I say certain things, I will get censored
Right.
by platforms. So that is one exercise of control. In terms of mainstream media, I think that that's highly controlled because you've got
Mm,
money backing it. And
right.
the people that rise to that level of influence and power generally have a vested interest in staying in it and
Mm,
have other people in even higher positions that are letting them do or not do certain things. So there's this
yeah.
trickle
Okay.
down effect of control that
Hmm.
happens. I think that the internet fucked up a lot of that for those people, and
Yeah.
that's a good thing for us.
Yeah.
But
No, I was just curious on your
mhm.
take on that because of the free will thing, but
Oh well, I mean,
yeah, I
yeah.
feel you.
If everything is on a track and it's just set to get from point A to point B, and it's gonna
Mhm.
take whatever path, then none of this shit is even. Everything is just we're just point A
Right.
to point B. But like I said, I don't really believe that necessarily. It's just a if we're looking at it from a strictly rationalist and like I don't know what ist it would be, but if we're looking at it from the perspective of everything is set already in stone,
Mm,
then all meaning goes away, right?
right. Yeah.
You
And then
know?
people just are like, what's the point of anything?
Yeah,
But
that's where
but
nihilism
then
comes in.
okay, so what you just said, right? If everything is from point A to point B and it's already set, then what's the meaning of everything? Going back to my original point of we choose our thoughts, aren't you choosing to not believe that then?
I don't know because it's like don't think about a pink elephant, you know? Like you can't help
Mm,
it. And so how do you control the thought? The only thing that I think that you really can control, I'm going to say something, you're going to have a thought pop up no matter what. But what I think you can control is throughout your life what you're exposing yourself to generally,
hmm.
not
Yeah.
always. But if you're exposing yourself to positive things and if you're exposing yourself to growth mindsets and watching positive
Yeah.
things and reading positive things, you're cultivating an environment in your mind that
A
is fertile,
belief system.
a belief system. Yeah.
So maybe a better way to articulate what I'm saying is like you can't control your thoughts, but you can control your beliefs, and your thoughts are derivative, or
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts grow through your beliefs.
Yeah.
So
Your
that's a better way to
beliefs
say it. Hmm.
and your beliefs are still, I think, confined to your experience to a certain degree because you will say somebody grew up in I don't know. Say somebody grew up in an abusive environment. Like
Right.
their beliefs are gonna be built around their experience of being abused until they experience other things that break their belief system that unlocks that new avenue for them. You know?
Or if they actively work on developing a belief system as a primary goal. I don't think that they have to naturally experience something to change a belief system. I think if you want to change your belief system, you can work it kind of like a muscle in the gym until your
Yeah.
belief system. You will have to remove yourself from the abusive environment, but I don't necessarily think they have to encounter. But I could be wrong. I mean, I'm just, you
Yeah.
know,
We're just chopping it
we're
up.
just cooking. Yeah.
Wh- okay. Where do you think wanting things comes from?
Desire.
Yeah.
Um, well, depends on if it's earnest desire or if it's egotistical desire. If it's egotistical desire, it's coming from your need to fulfill your ego. And if it's earnest desire, I think it is something that is speaking to you from your higher self.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, I just want to be famous. Probably egotistical desire because and you got to do a bunch of why exercises. Why do you want to be famous? Well, I want to be heard. Well, why do you want to be heard? Because I know my music's good. Why do you want your music to be known as good? Well, because I never got listened to as a kid.
Yeah.
Okay, you're trying to fulfill your ego. Another one is like, I just want to impact the world. I don't really care how. To me, that's an earnest desire, and it's a sign of like something bigger than you working through you.
Mm.
So that's where I think desire comes from today.
Okay. So, do you believe in like a soul?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe in reincarnation?
I don't know. I mean, energy cannot be created or destroyed, right?
Yep.
So I don't know about reincarnation, perhaps, but I don't know.
Yeah. I guess neither created nor destroyed, but it can be reconfigured.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So if all the energy's there, but maybe this is the only time this specific configuration is going to
Right.
occur.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. I didn't think that we were gonna get into this type of conversation, but this is the type of shit that I think about all the time. I think
Mm-hmm.
more than most people. And uh Kaylee was saying like she thought that we would have a good conversation because we're both like these tangential
Yeah.
thinkers,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like those tangents, like every tangent that I've ever followed significantly long enough, leads me back to the idea of like God or
Right.
his
Mm-hmm.
higher power, creative force. Um, I feel like the trap that I was ending up in for a long time, which is why I was providing the perspective of, well, maybe this thing is all on a track and maybe it's all like deterministic, is that I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't take it beyond the physical reality, almost because there is I think a concerted effort to take people away from that line of thinking. I think that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
people are trying to force people into these boxes and create good little worker bees, and
Yeah.
you know. But you're a spiritually inclined person. You said that it affects your decision making when you're making decisions, when you're doing your work. Uh, are you kind of using that as part of your compass?
For sure. I think that's what makes me great at what I do is
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not. So I see things people don't see often. I'll say things people won't say. And I, every artist I work with, I understand that I'm working with a piece of, number one, their soul and like magic. And I ask them to help me shape the idea. I
Mm.
don't come and say, this is what we're going to do. I'm like, what do you like? How does this make you feel? Why are you not doing these things? Like, I've been brought onto teams and, artists would be reluctant to do things. But then when I'm part of the team and I'm kind of like digging into who they are as a person and having those personable conversations with them, it's almost like I'm freeing them sometimes to give themselves permission to do things that they didn't have previously. And I
Yeah.
think like that is something bigger than me working through me because I mean, I'm cool, but I'm not that fucking cool. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? Like I'm
Yeah.
just like and it took me a long time to even be comfortable saying that type of thing, but
Yeah.
I've had people break down crying in my consults. Um just the feedback loops of like how I impact people is what kind of gave me the inclination that like there's something other than just me working in a lot of the scenarios I'm working in.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally feel the same way. I do I do work where I go to rehabs. I go to rehabs for 13 to 17-year-olds, and I also do it for adults. And
Cool.
it's drug and mental health rehabs, and I do music production groups there.
Nice.
So I go in for an hour. I get, 3 to 6 clients at a time, and I make songs with them. And I'm making
Cool.
songs with people who often have never made music before in their life,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
and are at one of the darkest points in their life,
Yep.
and they're often nervous or shy, um, or their ego is being challenged a little bit because I'm asking them to do something that's a little uncomfortable. I never make anybody do anything that they don't want to do. At the end of the day,
Right.
I
Right.
provide and I facilitate an environment for them to do so if they would like to and encourage it. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm never like, you're gonna do this. Um, and people have really powerful experiences in these groups too. I've had people cry. I've had people tell me I haven't touched a guitar in 20 years because my brother and I used to play guitar together and he died.
Right.
Or, you know, uh, or I'd never written a song before, but I've always wanted to, and this described exactly what I would want to say, and I listen to it all the time, you know, all kinds of things. I've done this for like 6 years. I've had probably hundreds of clients at this point, and, you know, but like you said, it doesn't really all feel like me. I feel like I just try to be a good antenna to let those really positive, pure vibrations and I try to let God flow through me, because I understand that the nature of what I do is so sensitive, you know, and if I'm fulfilling my ego through it, I'm doing a disservice to these people that I have been granted the gift of being able to influence, you know?
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, you're dealing with people's passion, the thing that they care about most in the world, you know? And if you misspeak, you know, or if you're not careful, you could really, you know, give somebody a complex or something too, you know? It's, you know.
Yeah, this is where my philosophies and decision making really come into play, is that I just trust that my intent is so filled with love that, like, even if something is said that traditionally would not be received well, it's going to be received well. Like,
Yeah.
part of my reputation is that I yell at everybody, but they like it because
Okay.
it's transformative yelling. So,
Yeah.
for example, one of my clients, she's fucking working for free all the damn time. I'm like, girl, you've done XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that anymore. Then she's like, I know. So then the next day, I'm like, I better get a call from you tomorrow saying you charge this person. And if I don't, I'm going to be pissed. And
Yeah.
will it actually be pissed? No. But is that, did that bring her to do something she never previously done, or maybe even thought that she couldn't do? Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I just be saying shit, and sometimes it is crazy and disrespectful in through some lenses, and I can't believe I'm allowed to say
You
it.
get
You
away
know,
with
so,
it.
yeah, because I think it's just because I'm so obviously being helpful, and I really don't give a fuck. Like, I'm never judging anybody. I'm not seeking validation. I don't care if you use my idea or not. Like, one of the main things that I say in all my consultations is like, I'm gonna give you a bunch of ideas. It's your job to tell me which ones fucking suck. Because even though the idea is good, doesn't mean it's good for you.
Do you want people to check you in that same way?
They're open to. I
Okay.
don't run from it, you
Yeah.
know.
I think certain people need to be yelled at for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that they straight up just need somebody to be as passionate or more passionate about
Mhm.
what they're doing than they are, to validate that this is important enough to like give a fuck about in the right
Right. It's like
way.
a personal trainer. It's like if you
Exactly.
just go to the gym and you're like, oh, I'm gonna half-ass the rep,
Yeah. Or if you
and
get a
then you
personal
got your
trainer and they're like, you can do it if you want. I don't.
right, yeah. And then some things in my consults, I will say that's completely up to you, you know. Or when I'm building a business around somebody, I'm like, hey, like, I know you mentioned these things, but like, you're the human that has to live with these decisions. So like, this will work, but can you live with this? And if you can't, let's create a different strategy.
Yeah. Okay. So, what is your opinion? I'm gonna pivot. What is your
Yeah, let's
opinion
do it.
on niches? Do you
Within
think
music
that,
specifically, or
yeah, within music and like Instagram, all these things, you think that people need to stick to their niche? You think that like you should try to narrow it, or do you think that you should just do as much as you're passionate and interested in?
are we talking about sound, like genre, or are we talking about content?
I think I'm talking more about content maybe, but
Yeah. Okay. I think um I think you can do whatever you want, but not all at once. I think that each thing that you're going to do needs a dedicated season, primarily because You're going to confuse anybody watching if you do too many different things at once. You're also going to confuse the algorithm if you do too many things at once. So, for example, my entire feed is music tips, strategy, career stuff. I posted a hiking video. Instagram's like, what the hell is this? I don't know what to do with this. Flop it.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the too much diversification at once comes in. So for example, if you are an artist and you play bass and you play drums and you also cook, do bass content for 8 weeks, do drum content for 8 weeks, and then do cooking content for 8 weeks just to get your algorithm right. Because each time you introduce a new concept, that algorithm's going to have to figure it out. Like it's a robot, but it's not a genius. So if you're like bass guitar, bass guitar, bass guitar for 40 posts, and then you're like cake, the robot's like, what is this cake? Who gives a fuck about the cake?
Yeah.
And it doesn't know. So I think you just got to keep in mind that you're always trying to trick a robot into showing humans your stuff. That's the game.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to ask for your opinion on this. I made a separate comedy account, and that's something I'm very interested in too. And on that comedy account, I did a video that was like fake Harry Potter spells. Things that sound like Harry Potter spells, basically. So like scoliosis or, stupid stuff like that. Yeah. And the first one that I did, I actually did okay compared to everything else that I had posted on my comedy page. I had one video before that was like 100K, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I was trying to make that a series. I did that Harry Potter spell. It did a little okay. The second one that I posted, that one just fucking took off. It was like...
Was it also Harry Potter?
It was also Harry Potter. And so I've now done, I think, 26 fucking parts of this Harry Potter thing, and I'm burnt the fuck out on it. Yeah. But it keeps working, and I don't want to do it anymore. So I started trying to do other stuff, and flop, 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 flop. And, and then I do a Harry Potter spell. You know the episode of SpongeBob where, they're like, the Squidward and SpongeBob are like behind the curtain, and like they keep showing SpongeBob, and then Squidward comes out, and everybody's just like dead quiet. Yeah. Literally felt exactly like that. That's funny. And so... Go ahead. I don't know what the fuck to do because I don't want to do Harry Potter anymore, but it works.
Well, you got to think from a data perspective. Harry Potter, I just looked it up while you're talking. Harry Potter gets 1 million searches per month just on Google. People are obsessed with Harry Potter. So it's like you could take the same concept and because wait, let me back up. Are you getting followers or just views?
Followers.
Okay, you're getting followers from your Harry Potter content. This is again where strategy comes into play. What are your goals, right? Yeah. Think about all the artists who fucking hate their breakout hit because they performed it so many times. Yeah. Like there's so many stories of that. So what you could do is find things that are not Harry Potter, but not exactly Harry Potter. Like a little start instead of being like Harry Potter. Something completely different. Start like slowly moving the needle to something different. So you could be like things that sound like Harry Potter spells. Boom. You could be like food. What's the girl's name? Hermione. What's her name?
Yeah, Hermione.
Like food Hermione wouldn't eat. Or like start taking the characters in Harry Potter, since you already know everyone's on your nuts about Harry Potter, and start using that as a point to kind of get you away from it. But unfortunately, like we don't get to choose what hits. Like even me making content, I didn't make content because I wanted to make content. I just made content and people kept liking it and it just kept working. And then I had to ask myself, what are my goals? And my goal was to impact people. And I'm like, well, this isn't my original method of wanting to impact people, but it's still giving me what I want. So let me lean into it.
I like your content a lot, and I feel like you're in a cool position because you're pretty free to just get on the mic and just say shit. You know,
Yeah.
I'm
Hmm.
jealous because, like I said, I'm fucking right now pigeonholed into Harry Potter in the only fucking thing that, like, you know,
Right.
but you just get on there and you're like, this is why you're fucking up. And, you know, and like, did you know that this is happening right now? And just all the shit
Right.
that you're interested in. That's awesome. You know?
Yeah. I mean, some people don't like it though. Like some marketers, when I would do mostly marketing hacks, they would be in my comments like, delete this. Or people have texted me and been like, you guys are going to ruin people's jobs because you're giving people this
Putting
information.
people onto too much game.
Yeah.
I hate that. That's
And I'm
gatekeeping.
like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. And that's a dumb perspective, I think, because one, they could be doing the same thing and they could be, yeah, I'm sure how many you've probably gotten a lot of clients from posting, right?
Yeah. I mean, I get a lot of just opportunities from content
Yeah. I mean,
because
that's marketing itself for you.
yeah, exactly. It's top of funnel. So it's
Yeah.
like, hey, you don't know I exist. Now you do. That now
Yeah.
what? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. People are such haters. I mean, they're either jealous or they're just scared to see somebody doing something that they're scared to do. I guess it's like it's like it's a phobia. It's so crazy.
I mean, everything comes with its cost, right? So I'm
Yeah,
blessed to be able to do whatever the hell I want to do. So
yeah,
if I got to look at some people in the comments and know they're stupid, then I'm willing to pay that.
yeah,
You
yeah. I
know?
think that's what I was actually appreciating about Harry Potter because, like I said, like when I post my music, people tend to not really respond that well to it. I don't know if I just don't come across as like cool or something,
Hmm.
and I'm better being a clown or something, but you know, but when I was posting the Harry Potter stuff, the reception was so overwhelmingly positive, and the dopamine hits that I was getting off of that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, hell yeah, like this is what I've been looking for.
Like, I'm the guy.
I was just refresh. Numbers going up. I'm like, fuck yeah, like let's go. I've got
That's
now
funny.
like I think 7 or 8 videos with 1 million plus
Cool.
views. Yeah, it is ridiculous, and that's why but then like I've kind of fallen off of it a little bit because I was like, is this what I want to be known for? You know, or am I digging myself deeper and deeper into this thing? But I think that maybe that's not, I just thought of this, but like I was digging myself deeper and deeper, but no other hole that I was trying to dig would even get deep in the first place. Like my shovel would fucking break on the
Right.
surface. So now that I'm deep, now I can start digging sideways if I need to. And
Hmm.
and that's why I really ultimately, more than anything in the whole fucking world, I want to be an artist and a musician more than the comedy, more than the
Right.
podcast. I actually fucking love the podcast though. I mean, honestly, if I could do if those were my two main things, I would be fucking set for life. But
Right.
but the music is I'm more passionate about it than anything else. So, you know, I was like, okay, well maybe, and I haven't done this yet, and maybe honestly after this conversation I'm just gonna do it today. But I was thinking of doing a Harry Potter spell that's like Stratocaster, you know,
Hmm.
and then bust out
Yeah.
my guitar and fucking rip the Harry Potter theme, you
Right.
know, on my guitar,
Yeah.
and do shit like that, or like a Harry
Yeah.
Potter fucking lyricism. I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's like a crossover you can start to do, but I just want to talk a little bit about intent, right? So,
Yeah.
like music, especially if they don't already know who you are, there's no intent there. They're just coming across something on their feed.
Hmm.
When they see Harry Potter, they already know Harry Potter. They already love Harry Potter. So they want to engage with Harry Potter. And the intent there is to be entertained, right? So,
Hmm.
however you can, I don't want to say exploit their need to be entertained with Harry Potter and then
Yeah.
work your music in. While you were talking, the thing that came to my mind was like, okay, well, if you do Harry Potter shit, this might be a reach. And again, this is like a moment where I would say, I don't know if this is a good idea, but if you like it, it could maybe potentially help. So the Harry Potter thing, rip the on the guitar or whatever. But then also you could kind of play into the stereotypes of different band members, but then dress up as like different Harry Potter people and be like, if Harry Potter
Mm.
was a bassist, bow, bow, bow. If
Oh
you know what I
shit.
mean? And I'm not
Yeah.
saying get a wig and shit, but depending on like your comfort zone,
Yeah.
I do think there's ways because you could even be like Harry Potter if he was a bassist, bam, 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 and then like or Harry Potter playing Quidditch, and then you're on your guitar instead of like on a break
Yeah.
type
Uh-huh.
shit.
Uh-huh.
And
I
like
get
use
you.
AI or get your friend to edit you like shh, and then
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
like you could make it a crossover and
That's
then you
hilarious.
would. And this is the thing that goes back to what I said about identity, right? It's like you don't want to be known for the Harry Potter thing. But if you got brand deals that because of the Harry Potter thing, if you were able to take the attention you got from Harry Potter and turned it into fans, then that's kind of what you're trying to do with your music anyway.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah. I think that that's such a good idea. The
mhm.
the band thing I think would work really well. But I don't know if you really know Harry Potter like that. If not, it's cool.
Not like
But
that, but
okay.
yeah,
Well, there's different houses. There's four
yeah,
different
yeah, yeah.
houses.
I know
Okay.
that. Mhm.
So if this was a four-piece band, which band member would be
Right,
Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff,
right.
Gryffindor, Slytherin?
Yeah, Slytherin
Slytherin
or
is
whatever.
definitely the fucking drummer. You know,
Right.
Gryffindor is definitely the singer. Ravenclaw
Mhm.
is the fucking keyboard player, and Hufflepuff is the bass player. That's
Yeah.
easy, easy as fuck, actually. Yeah.
Just figured it out right now.
Yeah.
And then if we're gonna go down this rabbit hole, let's just pretend, okay, so you do that, and then you don't drop music to that audience yet. You just keep building, like make a clutch ass song that's good that they like until people start commenting, when is this dropping? Is this on Spotify? Is this on Spotify? Is this on Spotify? And then you know, even if you make a completely different artist name and drop it over there, so that way nobody connects you guys, and then maybe Dan is the feature artist. You know what I mean? Like you do
Mm,
have some creative flexibility there.
mm.
Um and then yeah, you could introduce them to your music that way.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. That's yeah,
It's
definitely
like
a
the
good idea.
it's like the broccoli and the mac and cheese vibe. Like your kid won't eat their damn
Mm,
broccoli.
mm-hmm,
You
mm-hmm.
just put it in the mac and cheese, and then they
Yeah.
don't even know.
Yeah. Oh, you just yeah, that is perfect.
And then just start using your songs as background music and turn it down to like
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3. So because then what's gonna happen is they're gonna start not even knowing why they recognize the music
Mm,
because they're gonna be watching all these spells, ha 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 ha. But then whatever song you use, if you turn it down and it's not conflicting with the actual content, it's still going in their brain. They're just not realizing that it's going in their brain.
yeah. Yeah. Damn. So much of this is mind control and manipulation at the end of the day.
Marketing is all psychology. It's
Yeah.
not. I mean, there's sales and then there's marketing, but marketing is psychology. And since you kind of enjoy abstract topics, I'll introduce this to you. There's a term coming up more and more in the marketing world and business world, I will say. It's called mind share. And it's how much mind share a brand occupies within a user. So, what I mean by that is when a brand is not in front of you and you're going about your day and you need something. So, for example, let's use a drink, for
Coca
example.
Cola.
Coca-Cola. If Coca-Cola, how much mind share does Coca-Cola
A
occupy
lot.
within Dan? So if Dan's out and it's hot as fuck out and he's like, damn, I'm thirsty. Is he thinking I'm thirsty or is he thinking I want a Coke? And
Mm-hmm.
that is now becoming a measurable thing to people. And again, I don't talk about this to a lot of people, but it's that's what essentially you need. You need mind share. You need people to think about you when they're
Mm-hmm.
not. There's no reason to. So, like for
Mm-hmm.
example, for me, when someone's career, when they run into a fucking problem, for some people, their first thought is like, "Oh, I should call Sophie."
Mm-hmm.
So that means I'm occupying, basically living rent free in their head. That's
Yeah.
what you need to do. You need to live rent free in people's heads.
Yeah. No, that
Because
makes
now when we're
perfect sense.
competing for attention, it doesn't matter what I'm looking at right in front of me. You need to live
Hmm.
up here.
So what creates more mind share? Is it more exposure?
I would say connection.
Connection.
So, for example, if you did Harry Potter spells, things that sound like Harry Potter spells, let's say pasta edition, you're like rigatoni and like
Uh-huh.
stuff like that,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Carbonara.
You know, when exactly when people are at the store and they see rigatoni, do they think of you?
Interesting. Yeah, you're right.
Because you made them laugh or you made
Yeah.
them or you remind them of their nephew or like for whatever reason, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Right now I've captured a lot of nurses and doctors. That's been
That's cool.
my big claim to fame is that I started doing medical terms that sounded like it. Oh, they
Yeah.
eat it up. And it's so easy because there's so many medical terms
Yeah,
that
well, they're
literally.
all Latin, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just like infinite money glitch, you know?
Right.
And so, yeah, I've just been like, I just make those. And even the ones that I'm like, this one kind of sucked, 900K. I'm like, fucking all right, you know? And then everybody in the comments makes suggestions. And then I use theirs for the next videos. Whatever ones
Smart.
get the most likes, I just throw them on screen and do
Right.
them. So they're feeding me the content and they're hungry. They want more of it. And I've had nurses who are on their shifts doing things to my audio. And I'm
Right.
like, you should be saving people's lives. But
That's funny.
that's really great.
So then it's like, well, if you know your audience is doctors and nurses, why not just keep growing that audience and then leverage brands that want to market to doctors and nurses for money that you can then finance your music career with?
Yeah, we should get some Harry Potter, fake Harry Potter spell scrubs or something, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, or like what do people use? Like disposable products, like gloves and shit. Like a glove company might give you a bag.
So, okay, so how do I approach them and I just say, look, I've been doing these spells, people love them, and my audience is doctors and nurses. I have this many views, this
Mm-hmm.
many followers. Would you like to partner with me, or is there a better way to approach them?
I would approach them with like when you approach brands, you should come with an idea because if you leave it on them, they're already busy. They're not gonna like take bandwidth away from their company to look and see if you have an idea and work with you most of the time.
Yeah.
So like in that niche, I would literally just like come up with an idea like I will wear your gloves in 10 videos and have them on screen for X amount of dollars and then include your data like this is my reach, this is my engagement, this is my demographics, these are my demographics, and then have the conversation. And it's very like just having a conversation. So like even an opening conversation be like, oh, do you guys commission influencers? And then they may be like yes, or they may be like no, but either way, like you're opening the door because a lot of times what'll happen is they won't have active campaigns, but then they will eventually, have them and reach back out. There's also influencer agencies that you could send your like press kit into and say, hey, I'm available for, posts and stuff like that. Because one guy I know, he's a rapper and he raps about like mom issues and like baby companies give him money to like not baby companies but like baby product companies
Yeah, yeah.
give him
Buy a
money.
baby.
Yeah,
Fresh.
right. Gross. But yeah, they give him money for like stroller promo, store promo, shit like that.
Interesting.
But, like
Interesting.
I'll do some since we're not over time. Yeah, I'm gonna say who's the biggest glove manufacturer? I would say Nitro Gloves because everyone's allergic to latex. in the US. So then I look and I could see it's American Nitro. They probably don't need any. I would go down to like see who is and gloves might not be a good one, right? You have to do research and see like what is the best one. So figuring out what product aligns with your audience and then pitching that product essentially.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Or even like a local place, you know. Um or I'm trying to think here. Doctors and nurses, they spend a lot of money on vacations, maybe a vacation place.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
they care about their health. Maybe fitness app might pay you, a sleep app, different things. Like you'd
Yeah.
have to do the research, but my point is like if you're building an asset, you might as well leverage it in your benefit
Yeah.
because you've captured attention and you can monetize it.
Yeah. Yeah, like an STD check place or something, because doctors and nurses apparently are always doing that in the closets or whatever.
Long shifts,
Yeah,
there's long
long shift,
shifts.
not night shifts, dealing with life and death. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Anyways, that's my whole TED talk about fucking nitro gloves.
yeah, yeah. Even you thinking, see that just goes to show your marketing brain of like you're like, oh well, most people are allergic to latex, so let's go for nitrile. Like you're you've built that muscle specifically of, like you said, problem solving and finding that path.
Yeah, I also have a lot of life experience. Like I moved 23 times before I was 20. I went to like 12 or 14 schools.
Military or what? Parents military?
Yeah, well my mom moved just on her own and then yeah, Marine Corps. And then I've raised a child, I worked in dental, and then I opened my own business. So a lot of my insight comes from just like I knew the thing about the gloves because I work in the dental industry and because my
Mm.
daughter's mom's allergic to latex. you know?
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean that makes perfect sense. And so you're using your life experience to guide your understanding of what people need because you know what you need.
Yeah, I think just moving all the time.
Yeah.
Uh it
23
was
times is fucking crazy.
by the time I was 20. Like I've moved more than that. And my parents have moved more than me now because I stopped moving when I was 20. I was like, I'm fucking done. Um,
And so you moved out or you stayed with
yeah,
them
I
and
moved
just
out. Yeah,
okay.
I moved out when I was 20. I think I just turned 21. I moved out because we were in Virginia and they moved to Houston. I didn't go because I was just so tired of moving. But I
Wow.
think I think moving all the time and always like I never lived anywhere longer than 4 years. In
Mhm.
some places I lived 3 months or 7 months. So you got to think as a kid, I'm always the new kid
Mhm.
and developing this
Mm.
way to integrate um
So you have to market
was
yourself.
right, or you have to see what the people already care about
Yeah.
and then kind of figure out how that would be a thing. Like I remember one school, I think it was in South Carolina, they all would trace pictures of Dragon Ball Z characters and then
Okay.
trade them.
Trade
So
them. That's cool.
yeah, so but I just thought it was interesting they were tracing them. So then I was like, oh, that's pretty easy. So then I found like the most rare like Vegeta Super Saiyan and I traced it and with the abs and everything. And then I brought it to school and everyone's like, oh shit. Oh,
Wow,
and then
New
I was
Girl's
like, oh, this was
awesome.
this was easy. So then I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
now we're trading. And then because I'm an entrepreneur, I would also realize like, oh, people really like gum. Like if you have gum and you're a kid, everyone loves you. You're
Yeah.
like, you want some gum? So I think those two things, moving a lot and then just being good at identifying trends really help develop the lens I look through now. And sometimes it's a lot to deal with because I see things that sometimes people don't see themselves and it's not my job to bring it up, but I have to live with it. So
Yeah.
it's good and it's also sometimes challenging.
Yeah. Are you more stationary now? Like you're planning on staying where you're at for a while?
Yeah, my plan is to stay in Nashville. My daughter is a junior in high school right now, so I want her to come to college in Nashville. So she's finishing high school now in Virginia, but um, that's the plan. And then I'm getting my parents and grandparents and as many people as I can to move here.
Wow. Okay. So that's really cool, dude. Like you took that energy and you probably understand the value of staying still a little bit more now because you never
Yeah,
had it.
yeah. Well, I saw the difference in people that have grew up in one place their whole life versus like people like me and people who didn't. And like they had networks that they could call on,
Yeah.
or like, for example, where my daughter lives, we go eat at a diner and I haven't paid. We never pay when we go,
Mhm.
because it's just in the family basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, when you're always new, you just can't develop that.
Yeah. Yeah, my girlfriend, she's living here in LA with me and but she's from Pittsburgh. She grew up on the other side of the
Nice.
country. And she moved out when she was 18. She moved to Maryland and then she
Hmm.
moved to San Diego. So she's just been that new person, and she doesn't have her network. So now she lives here with me,
Yeah.
but our experiences are so different
Hmm.
because I have everything that I know here, you
Right.
know, and I have lived here my whole life. We've been
Yeah.
talking a lot more about moving though, because one, like my fucking UCLA song that everybody hates, like I really have so many issues with the way it is here. The thing that I
Mhm.
posted was like the reasons that I'm leaving LA, and it's just the lyrics from the song, but like in like,
Yeah.
you know, and
Pinpoint. Yeah.
yeah,
And
and
bullet.
everybody's like, "Good, bro, leave. We don't want you here anyway."
Right.
And I'm like, "All right,"
That's
but
funny.
our experiences are so different from each other because yeah, I have that network. She tells exactly how you just put it. Like she's like, if you need a bass player, you've got a million people that you can call. I don't have
Right.
anybody besides your friends, but like those
Right.
aren't my people. And she's an artist too, but she's like trying to build up her connections, but it's just I didn't realize how much I was relying on people that I've known for like 10 years or whatever,
Hmm.
and how
Yeah.
all my connections stemmed from that, and I've just got all these people. So we've been talking more about leaving, which is a scary thing for me because I've never done that before,
Yeah.
but it'd probably be good for my self-development and
For sure.
all that. But
Yeah. When you do new things, you realize your capacity is more than you thought it was a lot
yeah.
of times.
Hmm.
You know. And then yeah, but that's cool. What instrument does she play, or is she a vocalist or?
She's a vocalist. She writes and she produces.
Oh, cool. Sick.
Yeah, yeah.
Does
So
she produce your stuff, or you guys kind of do
I was
separate stuff?
I was producing her stuff mostly, and then because she was not really a producer until she met me, and so
Yeah.
I got her Ableton. Like I showed her the basics, and then she just started getting better on
Oh,
her
hell
own.
yeah.
Yeah. So now she produces her own stuff. We produce together. I'll feature on her stuff. She'll feature on my stuff.
Nice.
And yeah, and it's very integrated and very separate at the same time, which is cool.
Cool.
Yeah, and
Hell
she's
yeah.
recently started having some traction and stuff too. So we're, as artists, like getting to be in a good place, and it's good to have somebody around that like gets it and is
Right.
cool
Yeah.
with helping me film some shit if I need it, or I'll
Right.
film for her. And if I'm recording fucking Harry Potter videos and yelling in our living room, she's
Yeah.
just like, well, this is what you got to do,
Yeah.
so it's nice.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
funny. Cool.
Yeah.
So, where are you guys gonna move to?
We're talking about a
If
few different places. We're talking about Denver as one possibility.
that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, Denver is nice. Like it's just in the middle of the country. It is, the air is really clean. The people are super nice. We went to
Yeah,
Denver
that's what I've
and
heard.
Yeah, everybody, dude, everybody that I talk to out there, I'm like, do you like living here? And they're like, yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
And
same.
I've never heard that from places like, a lot of times they're like, oh, well, it's home or whatever. But
Yeah.
no, they're like, fuck yeah, Denver. And the thing that really tripped me out, and I think maybe Denver is some sort of fucking military installation or something, because
Mm-hmm.
the wages are higher than they are here. And we have one
Mm-hmm.
of the highest wages in the country here. Their minimum wage is 19 something an hour, but all of their cost of living, including housing, is much lower than here.
Isn't California taxed out the ass
It's
though?
taxed out the ass. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. A label was like, "How much do you want to move to California?" And I'm like, "More than you think I'm gonna ask
Uh
for,
huh.
because I'm gonna be living in my fucking car.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's so
basically.
expensive.
Dude,
I'm
it's
not doing that."
fucking crazy. I pay $1,800 for a 1 bedroom apartment here. It's
But you're in
insane.
California. I guess you
Fucking
pay for the
stupid.
beach.
I guess I'm not even that close to the beach, but
Denver is nice though, and you know what else I've heard though is that they care about the arts. I know that I
yes,
think the mayor or one of the local government guys there really cares about the arts. And then someone that I had met, I would have to look back in my email. He does stuff for the arts out there, so I think it still has an art community, which is nice.
yeah, yeah, and it's good too. Like for my specific situation, that it's in the middle of the country because my girlfriend's family lives on the East Coast, mine lives on the
Right,
West Coast, so it's this middle point that kind of cuts the cost in half, cuts the flying time in half, in a sense, and you know,
yeah.
yeah. So thinking about that, it would be a huge shift. I've never had to wipe the slate like that.
Hmm.
But my slate is all fucking stained and like there's like layers that are like that thick on it that it's like, am I even fucking touching the slate anymore, or am I just
Right,
touching the fucking, build up? And
right.
so, and I don't really like it here. It's too hot, and I've also never had to experience winter. That's another thing that I'm a little scared of.
Mm.
Not like real winter.
Yeah, you just gotta get some hoodies. On the positive note, you get to layer some of your outfits, which could look cool.
That's so nice. Yeah, I like jackets. I love
Same.
jackets, and I love layers too. But out here, it's like you try to layer shit, and you're gonna sweat through it.
Right.
Like right now, I
It's
think
kind
it's
of
like
like that in
95
Nashville in
degrees.
the summer. In the summer, it's like that here. I wore a sweater out because it was cold, and then somehow I wound up outside, and someone took a picture, and you could tell I'm just like red as fuck, and I'm like a little bit sweaty.
Yeah.
And then they posted it
Damn.
in a carousel, and I was the first picture, and I'm like, bro, I'm in
That's
a
hilarious.
fucking sweater in the middle of
You
the
were the
fucking
hook.
summer. Yeah, must have been. Yeah, I was like, what
Uh-huh.
is this bitch so sweaty for?
That's
Let's keep.
hilarious. Yeah. So funny. Out of all the places that you've lived, do you think that Nashville has been your favorite?
Nashville makes the most sense um for what I want from my life. So there's the international airport. I can travel pretty much anywhere pretty easily. My grandparents are in Ohio. My parents are in Houston. But then they're also going to be here. And then my daughter's family's in Virginia. So it's central. It's fine. It's cool. Um I like that my industry is here
Yeah.
because I was in Northern Virginia and we do a lot of stuff, events out there, but it was mostly just like philanthropy and TV and sports.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't let me use my expertise as much as music does. So yeah, I'm gonna stay here, which is crazy because I actually made fun of it like a while ago.
Really?
Because
Well,
yeah, my daughter's mom and her, they were like, because her sister lives out here. She's like, oh, maybe we'll move to Nashville. I was like, I'm not moving to fucking Nashville. Like, I don't even listen to country music. And then now I'm here. But that's kind of like a lesson that
yeah.
God repeatedly teaches me to
Yeah.
just shut the fuck up. Because I
Mm-hmm.
remember one time I was buying a car. My car got totaled from a hailstorm. Then I drove through like 2 tornadoes, and I had to get a new car, and I was so tired of looking for fucking cars because it's so annoying. And I pull on this lot, and there's like this pink Fiesta at the front of the lot. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably gonna leave with this piece of shit, like just
Oh, dude.
talking shit. And then I left with the pink Fiesta, and
That's
I
what happened to
loved
me
it.
too.
And it
Yeah.
was like the best car I ever got. And I was just like, it's affordable. The gas economy's
Yeah.
great. But then coming on the lot, I was like, fuck this big piece of
That's
shit. And then
so funny.
I'm like, so yeah, I try to just shut the fuck up now.
That happened with my Prius too. Like I walked onto the lot and the screen was vertical. It was like I'm like, this is so fucking stupid. Like, why would anybody want a vertical screen? You know? And I was like, no, fuck this car. Like, you know, the trunk space is ass. Like, you know, I drive that car now, and actually the vertical screen's actually fine. I actually don't mind it at all. Yeah, but yeah, I really, it's so funny how it works out that way, you know? And maybe it's another one of those things that just invokes a reaction. I bet that some of the people who are commenting what a burger musician I am are going to fucking love me, you know?
They probably do, and they don't know it yet.
Exactly.
Because the line between hate and love is very thin.
Yeah, super thin. Yeah, like most of the albums that I really like, I didn't really like them at first, you know? They kind of were a little off-putting to me,
right?
You know? And now I'm just realizing that they were challenging me, and I didn't know how to deal with the challenge, and so my first reaction towards the challenge is like aggression,
right?
You know? But then they would grow on me, and then I'm like, wow, this is like my favorite album of all time now, you know, or one of them. And yeah, evoking a reaction is key.
For sure. Well, I think we covered a lot today. Really enjoyed the chat.
Yeah, me too.
Why'd you name it the Hummingbird Podcast, by the way?
So hummingbirds are like spirit guides for me. I
love hummingbirds.
Really?
Yeah, they're cool.
They're awesome. My mom and my grandma, like those, I grew up with hummingbird paraphernalia everywhere. They would have it hanging up. They would have like stained glass stuff of them, hummingbird feeders all in the backyard.
Cool.
Yeah, so that was just something. And really, so I spell it like HMNGBRD. And that specifically came from me. One day I was sitting at home, and I was thinking about, like, if I had a dope car in the future, like, what would I want to make the license plate on it? And I was just thinking about that. And I'm like, what's a 7-letter thing? And I was like, well, hummingbird would be awesome. I'm like, oh, well, if I spell it like this, I can fit it. So my goal now, and this is another one of those things, I don't even fuck with yellow cars. I don't like yellow cars. I have this idea of this, like, yellow, I don't know if it's like a Ferrari or some shit with hummingbird as the license plate. And so, you know, I don't know. It's just that, and then it all stemmed from there, and then hummingbird became this like bigger brand. Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Thanks for asking.
Yeah, hummingbirds are sick. One time one came like this close to my face and looked at me like this.
Wow. How cool.
And I was like, oh shit. It didn't stay there very long, but I was like, what is this? I was like, spiritual meaning of eye contact with a hummingbird.
He will transcend into the next reality in the next 5 seconds. Yeah. I saved a hummingbird with my grandma one time. That was nice. We nursed it back to health, and we got to watch it fly off. It's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
Soph, thank you so much for doing this and for having this conversation with me. We talked about a lot of cool stuff, and, you know, and hopefully we get to talk again soon, whether
for sure
here or just talking, because, yeah, you think about things pretty similar to me, but you've also got a lot of other insight, which is cool.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Did you have fun?
Yeah, for sure. And maybe I'll see one of your
out in Nashville
Harry Potter things on.
I see. Yeah, you probably will.
Yeah. And pull up if you're in Nashville. Hit me up. We'll get coffee or chicken fingers or something.
Fire. I love chicken fingers.
I'm hungry.
Chickens don't even have fingers, and they're my favorite parts.
Right. Same.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, yeah. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Bye,
Yep.
Soph.
Bye.